Not something that you want to think about, but it is something every parent and really every person should know. We're talking about CPR.
Connie Byers is with the Red Cross of Central Oklahoma and joins us with more. Thanks for being with us, Connie.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the common mistakes that people make when it comes to CPR.
Okay, well, your children, which are actually age 1 to 12, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is not check for their breathing first. And by doing that, the biggest mistake they make is tilting the head back too far.
Okay.
On a child, just tilt the head back about halfway, and you must get your ear close to their mouth, and you have to look, listen, and feel for breathing. And
Okay,
not
all
only
three.
breathing, but normal breathing.
Okay.
So that's one of the biggest mistakes. On your infants or your babies, which is 0 to 1, the head must be neutral. So the
Okay.
ear must be in line with the shoulder. And once you put your hand on that baby's forehead, think of it like it's super glued, because if you take it off, and once again, you must look, listen, and feel for signs of life.
Okay.
And the biggest mistake they make is not getting the head in the right position,
place.
first
Wow.
of all, to start with.
How important is it that everyone needs to know CPR?
Very, very important. It really can make the difference in saving life. Seconds truly, truly do count. And by knowing CPR, you check their breathing. They're not breathing. You can get breaths into them. You can get that oxygen flowing to their brain. The majority of the time when your infants or your children have even a cardiac emergency, it's respiratory related. And therefore, if we get breaths into them, start breathing into them, we can get the oxygen level back up, and we have a greater chance of survival.
Okay, and what are some of the basics that we all need to know when it comes to CPR?
Of course, the breathing, like I said, and I don't mean to keep reiterating that,
No,
but that
but-
is so, so important. Always check the breathing. Okay, once you've checked for breathing and your child or your infant is not breathing, you want to make sure that you give 2 breaths to your child or your infant. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I think probably parents make, or grandparents, whoever that is they breathe too hard.
Oh.
You only have to breathe enough to make the child's chest rise.
Huh.
And it's a normal breath. An infant, it's really a little, just a poof. And would you like to try?
Okay, I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm like, I will.
Okay. On an infant, you actually breathe into their mouth and their nose.
Okay.
Keep their head in that neutral position, and you're not going to have to breathe very hard.
Okay.
And you'll see the chest rise.
Oh, you
See, you're
did?
barely
Oh,
breathing.
yes.
You're barely breathing.
Okay.
Wow.
So you just give 2 breaths. You breathe for a short time, 1 second. Make sure you see the chest rise. Breathe again for a second. And now you know the airway is open. And
Okay.
then you check for a pulse.
Uh-huh.
And
And you start doing compressions then.
now, if a child has a pulse, then all you have to do is breathe for them.
Okay.
And if they don't have a pulse, then you begin your compressions.
Okay, so
Okay.
if I'm thinking I need to go take a CPR class, tell me, is it a several week thing? Is it a 1 day?
No, that's what is so wonderful about the Red Cross. You can go, if you just want just the CPR, you can do the adult, child, and infant in approximately 4.5 to 5 hours. So you can,
Not
every
even a whole
Saturday
day.
morning, every
Yep.
Saturday morning they have it. And then they have some also during the week at various times.
Okay.
That's great.
And we're talking refresher courses too, even if you have been certified
Yes.
before.
Yes.
Okay, you need to get it done.
And we recommend at the Red Cross, and our certificates are good for 1 year, because CPR, I would say it's like life insurance. It's something you're buying, you hope you're never going to have to use.
Right.
Yes.
So people don't retain it quite as long as we like them to. So that's why we suggest you do it every year, just to refresh your skills.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank
for
you
so
joining
much.
us.
Thank you.
You know, if you'd like more information on CPR classes in the 405, just go to news9.com/405.